All right, we are getting launched. Let me pop out my chat for YouTube. All right, cool. Alrighty. So, yeah, let's go about building out a font picker. Ah, just got on the plane? Yeah, no worries, Unruly. And yeah, where are you flying? I think I forgot that part. Oh, yeah, this album's good. I like this one. All right, so selecting font size and font family. Those are things that we need to be able to do. They happen inside the editor. Oh, and real quick, let's see the PR. Yeah, so disdain. I don't see anything checked in like you described it. Right? If you're not familiar with how to make pull requests, we can go over that. Totally up to you. All right, nice. Into it. Yep. Yeah, you would need to fork it. Yep. Yeah, that's how open source contribution typically works. Life of Disdain. So you would have to fork it, push up a branch to your code, and then GitHub has a mechanism where you say create PR from that branch. And yeah, thanks, Fobden. And what's up, Zoken? Hell yeah. So yeah, Life of Disdain, if you haven't done this process before, basically you would fork it and you would maintain, like in your local, you might want to rename the remote that is probably currently origin. You would want to rename that one to upstream. And then your fork would be origin, right? So then the process is when you want to pull in from the latest from the upstream, you would do a pull down to your local main, then you would push that up to your origin main. And any changes you make sure you're doing on a branch, because then that's a lot easier to get like the merging and all that stuff back going, you know? If you don't want to do any of this, that's totally fine. But, you know, if you want to get in the habit of doing open source contributions, this is the flow. So it's always worth the practice. You may forget it, but doing it at least once helps you remember it next time. You could also use any names you want. You don't have to use origin and upstream, right? You could do mine and origin. That works too. Doesn't really matter. Right? You can name them whatever you want, just as long as it makes sense for you, you know? All right, so npm dev. Oh wait, hold on. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, it was just cleaning up a commit that we didn't need. Describe the process you did. Remember, pushing up to your branch doesn't push anything to me. You need to make a pull request from your branch on your fork to this repo. If you navigate to this repo, it'll probably have a little banner at the top saying, would you like to create a PR? If not, you can just go new pull request and do it that way. And 1 second, hold on. So yeah, Zokin, you came back from a work hackathon that you and some coworkers organized for the first time. It was really fun and an incredible experience to organize. Yeah, organizing stuff like that is huge. Like, it's good practice, man. It was at a hotel, so a lot of money was involved. As in, like people flew in for it, or more like renting out a conference room kind of thing. Like, what was the prize for the hackathon? That's how I judge, like, you know, that's how I judge hackathons. And what's up, Bandy X? How you doing? All right, so maybe after the shadow stuff. Hmm. Once we've made our MVP, I may want to refactor into like the sidebar layout that we see on other tools. Oh, that's fun. Hell yeah, Zoken. Okay, so then it being enabled is not a thing. So we get rid of that. The color of it, we're not going to be doing the color input. So that goes away. And let me get more music going. All right, so number one, we probably don't want to keep commented code in the repo. So I would say remove it. But is that the actual like thing? Right? Does clicking inside the chat box or inside the checkbox still work? Right, I understand. We don't want to comment things out though, right? If the fix is not having that line, then we can just remove the line. It is very appropriate that it's line 420. And yeah, Ninjatron, sorry. Yeah, what are you up to? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, how you doing? What were you working on today? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the 420 is pretty hilarious. There we go. There's the other shout out. Parsing protein databank files and writing Python FFI. You don't have to do anything to change the repo. You just make your change and push it to your branch, and GitHub does the rest. So all you got to do is just make your change and push. All right, and let's see. Let me save this. Yeah, no worries, man. Yep, thank you for the raid. For people joining from the raid, here's the thing we're working on. It's at githium.com, and you can toy with it yourself if you want. So Giphium is basically, hey, I want to see an animated diff between these two bits of code. What would that look like? We click next. And we see that there's a preview of it. We could change the coloring. We could change the styling, like the font, the theme, etc. And then, bam, we get this diff that you can download and paste to social media. Pretty cool, right? So yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's kind of fun. Man, me and Natota have a really tight battle going in fantasy football right now. It's going to really come down to how well our defenses do, theoretically. But yeah, I like this. This is a good nail biter. But okay, so now the thing that we're doing here. And Manish, why did the debugger go to therapy? Because every line of code it checked had issues. There you go. Nailed it. All right, so we see a bunch of these sliders. We only really need the two. And I'm not 100% certain how I want to do the actual font selector. I wonder, can we do a drop down within this? And let me get my local host going. Oh, it's fine, Disdain. Like, no, this is the process. Don't feel bad about that. I would say the only thing you should feel bad about is if you were, pushing back and not willing to do it. But you're not that way, so you're good to go. I am going to want to maybe, just fiddle with it and test it myself. So I can do that in a workspace. I think, ooh, I might not be able to do this in a workspace. Yeah, I might not actually be able to do this in a workspace because it doesn't have any concept of. Hmm. Yeah, let me look at this in Launchpad. Yeah, let me try it in GitKraken itself. Oh, that's a lot of dependabot stuff. Ooh, but we don't have workspaces. No, no, that, like, removing code is a contribution. For sure. Don't feel bad about that. Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure. That's all. I'm going to push back and say that there's probably another change we want to make for accessibility reasons. Right? Like, if you were to tab to that element using your keyboard and hit spacebar on the checkbox, does it still work? That might be something to test. And again, I'm not saying, like, how dare you not know that? It's just, that's my experience as a front end dev, like, knowing to look for those kind of things. I don't think that is a different ticket. Right? It's still basically the same fix, but it's solving it a different way. But I do have to use the restroom real quick. Give me a second. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. I'm back. Woo! It's maybe a bit gross, but I tend to drink coffee for bowel reasons. I don't drink coffee on a regular basis. I do drink it before I'm about to travel to make sure that I don't have any pressing issues while I'm at places like the airport. So I drink coffee ahead of time and also typically when I get home. It works pretty well. So it's the main reason I also don't drink coffee any other times, right? Because I want it to be able to do the thing I need it to do at the right moments. Coffee on the daily, but then it's less effective because your body becomes dependent on it. I understand caffeine. Caffeine you can get plenty of ways. The thing coffee does is specific to coffee. At least for me. And yeah, what's up, Misty? How you doing? Thanks for the sub. Yeah, I'm not actually a fan of coffee, Sean. Yeah, like, but I use it for basically medicinal reasons every once in a while to make sure that I don't have those like problems at the wrong time. And that's fine. What I'm saying is like, are you able to maintain regularity without it? If so, cool, good job for you. If not, that's exactly the problem I'm talking about. I would challenge you, X Factor, to not drink coffee for a few days and see if you're still actually regular that way. I would actually challenge that. You might have been beforehand. That doesn't count. I'm talking about after being an everyday coffee kind of person. Okay, so you have stopped before, no issues. All right, just double checking. I know plenty of other coffee drinkers that have had a problem with that when they try to like lower their intake. It's also a problem that people quitting cigarettes have. There's only one withdrawal where I'm specifically talking about, guys. And I'm trying to be not quite as gross as it is. Ah, when you stopped, you've done decaf. That doesn't count. Yes, because it's not the caffeine that is doing the bowel movement stuff. It's the actual coffee part. So decaf would not actually like be a proper clinical trial. I am specifically talking about I drink coffee to trigger a bowel movement, basically. It's a nice, easy, natural way of doing that. Yes, I have heard this from multiple everyday coffee kind of people, right? Because you do it every day over a long enough period of time, your body adjusts to it, and then without it, things get thrown out of whack. Yep. But yeah, it's a gross conversation. I don't need to keep it here. Sorry. It's just something I do before and after travel. But yeah, so Disdain, you're saying it worked fine with tabbing two things. All right, so I'll have to check it. Oh, yeah. No, it would be just a nightmare to have an emergency, like in the airport or, heaven forbid, on the airplane. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you. But yeah, so let me. I'm trying to think if there's a good way to test this. I know what we can do. Hold on. I'm pretty sure because we're using Netlify, I can just allow it. Yeah, I can approve this deploy to a side branch. I could do it locally, that's fine. I still don't want to like mess with what I'm doing. Oh, we don't need that because we merged it. Uh, what does that mean, disdain? Oh, you mean like for the README? Oh, I'd say just create like a contributing section, like in the main README. That's the easiest way right there. Right, like right above the license at the bottom. It's a pretty common pattern. Yeah, happy Sunday. What you up to, Jarrell? Happy Sunday. All right, let's go look at this deploy preview. Okay, yep, that part's working. Oh, wrong button. Oh, seems to me like tabbing is broken in general. Ooh, okay, so that is a whole separate ticket. Because for some reason that tabability is broken. Here's what I think I want to do, though. Nah, because not everyone's going to be doing like a getting started, right? I may even remove that getting started section. I don't know. Let's go look at it. Yeah, which isn't ideal. But that's not your fault. That's actually the fault of some other stuff. Right, so here's the thing. We have a getting started and project commands, but we also have a contributing already and getting started, building, etc. Yeah, I don't know. I would say getting started and project commands probably go away. So I'm curious, right? Like, technically, the whole PNPM thing was mentioned twice, right? First install PNPM. So yeah, I'm curious what else you're adding to it. Just the version of Node. Sure. Yeah, I would say if you want to get rid of getting started and the project commands, right? I think here in contributing, it's kind of covering like the PNPM part. Recommended VS Code extensions, that might be good. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say maybe throw those just after the solid JS section. Node version would probably go up at the beginning somewhere. So yeah, good call. I want to see what value we're getting there. Interesting. Oh, and I guess I need to refresh over here. Interesting. So we're getting false every time? Yeah. I'd love to like chat about how you do that. Using it from the command line? It'd be kind of tricky to do so because it relies upon the DOM being there. Due to the way that Shiki Magic Move works. You might be able to hack it with something like JS DOM. If you want to fiddle with it and try it out, go for it. As far as the gradient thing, I'd love to discuss what your thoughts are on it. But yeah, like you can totally, just make a comment on the issue. Yeah, I think JS DOM is what you're going to have to use. You might be able to get away with using something like Puppeteer or Playwright. Nightmare. Some type of like headless Chrome might be able to do it. Yeah, I need to fix that, Spiraeus. I just haven't yet. I think the fix I want to do is that all of the drop downs should actually just be white. But yeah, we just haven't gotten to that part yet. Yeah, chat. Keep in mind that if you're using something like Slidev, you get it out of the box with what they support anyway. So if you make your presentations using Slidev, then you're done. And I think Apple and their like Keynote tool also does it. But yeah, if you end up wanting to make your slides with something else, a GIF would also fill in the blanks. So yeah. Oh, I told you so refactor emails to colleagues. I mean, honestly, it might just make sense to somehow integrate it into like the PR comment process. That's actually a nice use case for it that I didn't think about. Right? Rather than just giving someone the snippet of what it would be, you can actually have the animation between what they have and what you think would be better. That's a nice use case for it. So yeah, here's the interesting thing to me. This on change event doesn't seem to actually fire the true value, which is what's actually breaking it. Yeah, I find that strange. So yeah, we'll call this one good. Let me just double check. All right, line removed. Works for me, yeah. Right, because the accessibility of that whole section is broken anyway. So yeah, an accessibility fix would be a totally different ticket. Yep, yeah, no worries. Okay, so add support for a linear gradient. So add a new column for the type. Yep. For the UI, so you're going to actually need more than one column, right? You're going to need a column for the angle. Well, yeah, what's the CSS? Right? Hold on. I forget how CSS linear gradients even work. Right? Because really, it could just be the linear gradient value, right? You just give us this whole long string. Here's the next thing, though, right? You're going to have to think about the color input. I think for now we can take it easy and just do a color versus a linear gradient. I don't think we want to worry about patterns or like images or anything yet. Yeah, what I'm getting at is this is going to be a text field. But it could just be a single text field. And the angle and how you generate the gradient is just the single like CSS value, right? but you may have different inputs. Like, I don't know. I think that's the tricky part. What are you thinking for like a UI element to visualize the gradient, to select the gradient? Use hue. Is hue like a vanilla JS color picker? Yeah, what if users want to do more than one? All right, this is where it gets like really complicated. We could limit it to just a start and an end and a direction, but what if we wanted to do radial? So at least like trying to think through what the future versions of this might be. They don't need to be implemented now, but could we check all of the boxes for gradients with one just better input? So yeah, maybe that's going to be my comment on it. There's a lot of things we could do. I think a big problem with what we're doing right now is the fact that we're trying to do the settings all within this like drop down component. And instead we may want to like pivot to being more like chalkist. Right? So like doing the sidebar thing instead. I don't know why it keeps flickering. That's really annoying. But right, like we're able to pick a color, but we're not really able to modify that color in a clean way. So I don't know if I actually like the way they do this specifically, but what I am getting at is that maybe we want to do a sidebar for the configuration stuff. Ask the user to enter some CSS. No, that's a bad user experience. I think for now, We probably just keep it simple because the larger refactor to a sidebar is something we'll want to do at another time. So, like, the moment we do that, we move everything over, and then we can make a whole bunch of these inputs more complicated. I'm thinking for the font, like, I'm going to want to do something more complicated too. But Shot, go look at how many issues we have and how many settings we want to add. We're basically going to implement all of the window style settings. We're going to be implementing way more into the background color settings. We're going to be implementing way more into the font settings. I'm already running into the font thing for the task that I'm on right now. So I think you're looking at what we have right now rather than what we'd end up wanting to do. Like if you go look at our issues, we have a lot of issues over there. But hold on. Oop, if I could spell. All right, so BG color type. Gradient color start. Gradient color end. And gradient, linear gradient direction. How do you feel about that, Salmon? And then, yeah, supporting other like background types and colors and all that stuff. That's something we can tackle later. But yeah, I like it. Oh, hold on. So, Salman, what you got to remember is that we need to be able to take the value that you have in the database and translate it back into the UI that people are going to manipulate. Right? So, how do you fill out the fields that those are going to be there for? And how do you set up the usability of someone selecting those colors? They have to be two separate color inputs. If you want to do the positioning, right, like the 0 to 100% thing, that's two more fields to add. Right. Okay. But if we're storing a value, we have to store the values that we can put into those fields. Worrying about trying to break up a string in that case sounds way worse. Right? So what we end up storing, we need two separate color values. SQLite is pretty basic. I don't believe they have like an array type. So we're not going to be able to do like a colors field, right? Unless we want to start doing like JSON stringify JSON parse logic, which doesn't sound great to me. Yeah, and we can always refactor later once we start having to consider all sorts of different background types. Yeah, I mean, our validation logic is going to get way more complicated too. I think this is a good starting point for adding gradients, though. For the color type, I would say see if you can make the color type just like a radio input, at least for now. I'm just trying to think of what will actually like fit inside of the drop down menu mechanism that we have. And that drop down menu mechanism is very limiting. Like I'm running into it with what I'm doing already. You're going to be running into it. Like what makes sense inside of one of those like drop down context menus. And that's where I really think like the sidebar is going to make more sense. Gives us way more power. Gives us way more just leeway, right? More flexibility. So yeah, I like this. This is definitely one of like the larger contributions to make, though. So totally up to you if you think this is too big or not. Sure. It might make sense then to rename BG color to like BG solid color or just solid color. Well, it's still BG. So yeah, like hold on. That would mean that this should probably be BG gradient color start, BG gradient color end. So yeah, I like the idea of prefixing all these with BG still. And in fact, yeah, for this one, right, just to keep the convention going, BG gradient linear direction. That one could just be BG gradient direction. I don't know if that would actually matter. No matter what, it's going to be a directional value. So yeah, that could be BG gradient direction or BG gradient linear direction. I'm not too worried about that part. But yeah, thank you at least for like talking this out. And yeah, similar to like what you're doing here, I'd rather keep the string camel cased just for consistency. I think I'd probably end up doing the same thing for like other unions we do. All right, so I'll leave that just so we can merge it later with no changes. So we got font size here. We're going to need like a font selector. If we're making a limited selection that you can use, then it can just be like a deeper submenu, and I'd be okay with that. And yeah, like going multiple levels nested within a menu like this, not ideal either. All right, so this is where we're going to end up having like a loop over supported font families, which we don't have yet. What's up, Trona? How you doing? We'll just do font family.name for now. And yeah, I'm doing well. Wow, this thing is running really slow right now, though. What tab was that? Oh, that was localhost 3000. Yep. All right. And yeah, we should probably get some of these tabs closed here soon. Our working set is a little larger than it should be. What's up, Gardek? How you doing? Or a fix for the Drizzle kit docs got merged. That was cool. Oh, and hold on. Yeah, someone wanted me to assign an issue to them. Number 43, right? There we go. And yeah, maybe this is just like recommended VS Code extensions. I think it's just Tailwind. Like maybe linking out to the extensions would be worthwhile. Totally up to you. All right, so hungry delete. What is that? I'm okay with that. Nah, I don't think I need that. All right, so name is a string. Okay, there, Gardek. What's up, IDK? How you doing? No worries, Garda. Depends on the message, Gardek. We saw one of them. I didn't even see you try to post a link. Blame Twitch, man. Try it again. I don't know. Don't get offended. We don't see it. I don't see an auto mod. I don't see anything. Then I don't know, man. Try and do it without a link. I don't know, man. How long was the question? Again, I didn't even see it to know what you're talking about, so I have no clue. I believe your problem exists between your keyboard and chair. If you don't want to rephrase your question, okay, man. All right, so yeah, we'll add Fira code. Udemy's garbage. They don't police their platform. People pirate other people's content. Udemy is garbage. If it's a respectable author, then it's probably a good enough course. Like, you're answering your own question here, man. I would not support anything Udemy does. because they do not police their platform, and there are people ripping off other people's content. Udemy doesn't care because they profit either way. I refuse to support a platform that does that. Surprised it's not auto-completing any of that. There we go. So yeah, anyone else got some like favorite like code fonts that they like to use? Fira Code is definitely like one of the most popular. JetBrains Mono. Keep in mind it has to be here uh, on Google Fonts. It is. Sure. Well, that's the magic of it there, Gardek. You don't have to. Let people enjoy what they want. All right, so Source Code Pro, Fira Code, M+1 code? I wish it was monospace, but we'll add it anyway. Now, we're not downloading any of that. We're doing it through Google Fonts. And what's up, Dusty? Yeah, I liked the GIF. That's good. Um, Nargman, do you mean IBM Plex Mono? Google doesn't have Plex. I don't see Noto Mono. Sure. Well, yeah, we don't do links. Yeah, I asked you literally if you meant IBM Plex Mono. I can find that one. Sure, it's just a font. Yeah, we're not going to do that right now, Dusty. Right now we're doing a very, like, simple, like, I'm adding comic new, just because that's a meme here, basically. But other than that, we're just going to stick with, like, the top 5 or 6. We're not going to do more than that right now. So is there any other one that we think we should add? Eventually, we'll just let people pick any font on Google Fonts. We're not doing that right now, though. And we'll have to decide what we want the default to be. Probably just Fira code, but I don't know. One more. What do you think? Give me a name. Going once. Going twice. We already tried their faux hammer. Noto sans mono doesn't show up. It's not in the list on Google Fonts. Oh, yeah, there's the open dyslexic, which isn't bad. There's also what is it? Berkeley font. No. In Consolata, that's another option. All I did was type in the word Noto. That's it. Those are the only options we get. If you're saying Noto sans, sure. Okay. Now, what do you guys think? Noto sans mono, in Consolata. We're only adding one of them. But yeah, what was the one? I know I had a tweet about it, and I use it on some website I do. Do we remember which website that is, though? Atkinson Hyperlegible. Yeah, that one's good. But that one's just for, like, pros. But if you are looking for a dyslexia capable font, Atkinson Hyperlegible is a good one. And it's by the Braille Institute. That's why my brain was going towards B. But yeah, we're not going to be adding this one. but it is very nice for just readability in general. There's also Open Dyslexic. I've heard mixed reviews on that one. I think it looks ugly, but if it's actually good, then it's good. But I've heard people with dyslexia say that they actually find this harder to read. So I don't know. It's harder to know. Yeah, I find this one tough. And then there's the other one that highlights like the first three characters or like bolds the first three characters. Anyone remember what that one's called? It has like a weird name. I think it's the Microsoft one actually, right? Hmm. Is it dyslexia? I don't think it's this one. I'd say this one's still better than that Open Dyslexic, but this isn't it. It's like Bionic font? Bionic reading? Yeah, this one where it highlights like the first couple characters. Like it costs money, so yeah, like I'm not going to be using it. They've got it as like apps, but they don't have it as like fonts. So yeah, I don't know. They don't even have like a good demo. If we click it, does it help? They don't even have a good example. Yeah, they have massively harmed the explorability of their font just by trying to go like super profitable. But okay, so we got one more to do: Noto Mono or Inconsolata. Who's got a preference? He made his own font. Nice. I made my own font too. I just added ligatures. I just added ligatures to Comic Sans. Oh man. Yeah, Atota's probably going to beat me this week. He's already at 118. I definitely have some people on my bench that should have been playing. I don't think it would have changed too much, though. Yeah, what's up with Travis Kelce this year, man? Like, just blowing it. Did him and Mahomes have a falling out? But oh well, can't win them all. And yeah, looks like no one has a strong font. Okay, we got 2 people for Inconsolata. That's about the same amount of people for Noto. Sam in chat, say Noto or Inconsolata. Oh, we're seeing more for Inconsolata. There's another Noto at least. Anyone else got opinions? Get them on out there. We could put it to a proper poll. How about that? That way you don't even have to type it. And I'll even add Ubuntu to it. Last font. Inconsolata. Noto sans mono. And the other was Ubuntu something or other. Pretty sure that one, like, I've definitely seen that one. Yeah, I don't think it's worth the effort for a feature flag yet. I do think, yeah, we'll probably want to bring feature flags into Giphium eventually, once we actually have like a set of users. Right? That way we're not breaking things for people like too quickly. When we switch over to the sidebar, that might be a great like feature flag. So while the vote's going, I do have to go pee. I don't even need to change the scene. I'm just going to go use the restroom real quick. Give me a sec. All right. So how's the vote going? Looks like Inconsolata is winning. All right. So Inconsolata won. Yeah, we actually did that for a little bit there, Chaotic. And yeah, it wasn't ideal. How many channel points are you sitting on right now? Oh no! Well, sorry. Inconsolata won, but it's not actually on Google Fonts. Oh, I probably should have checked that first. Yeah, what would be a good like single person? Oh, is it there? Why didn't it search? Fonts Google specimen? Oh, there it is. I don't know why it wasn't being found then. Oh, that was weird. All right, so it's there. Never mind. But yeah, what would be a good like million point like single person channel redemption? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. What up, GT? All right, so now the preview. Let's go see. We're gonna have to make our own custom SVGs for this. Yikes. Oh, what stream, Dusty? No beanie for a week? No beanie for a month? Okay. I've done no beanie streams. Oh, I see. Like a jam stream, like just me jamming? I don't know. Oh, we'll definitely remake the tab bot at some point where you'll have to use like channel points to fiddle with my tabs. It wouldn't be like a hard cap. It would be like for 50,000 you can delete a random tab. For 20,000 you can shuffle my tabs. For 50,000 you can pop all the tabs out to a new window, like for each one of them. That part's brutal. Yeah. Yeah, I think we could do that. That'd be fun. Yeah, we've done it before. It was actually pretty good. Yeah, maybe chaotic. I think that was one of the things that we lost when the hard drive crashed. Yeah, I think that was one of the things we lost when the hard drive crashed. It's also going to be well worth restricting your chat, too. All right, so let's look at these. Oh, and these sprites are massive. Oof. Wow, this is questionable. Like, I don't know. I might want to just generate these SVGs on my own. We could also just add the fonts in the header. Light theme for a week. I actually like solarized light. That was my theme for a really long time. Right? That legal pad yellow. Ooh. Solarized light. It's a really nice light theme. Yeah, I think we're going to simplify how these fonts work. Which means it could just be. We'll just do the name for now, just in case. It's a little more future proof. Yeah, I don't know if you know this. That word is not actually okay on Twitch. You can be banned for it from the entire platform. So I'm gonna do you a favor and delete that. Yep. I don't know. That's a solid joke. Jeez. I wasn't expecting that. All right, that's a solid joke. Um, yeah, we can do close on select false. Oh, not there. Oh, yeah. So we have to do this still. All right, so we'll do that. We'll do a show. And my machine is running really poorly right now. All right, so we're going to close this. We're not going to be using any of it right now. The thing that's going to be in here is going to be TB check. And instead of font, this will be family. Right, so we see them there. If we select one, we get that in there. I think 24 is a bit much. We'll say 20. That way we don't get jumping around. And we're going to go add all of like the Google font things for that. So then here, selected families, remove that, and let's start searching for them. So in Consolata, comic new, Fira code, what were the other ones? IBM Plex Mono. JetBrains Mono, Roboto Mono. His first touchdown of the season? Of course. Jeez. Well, all right. He's at least helping me out in this game so far. They're like a dirty blue. They're blue on the outsides and like a weird kind of like greenish on the inside in like a star pattern. And they definitely fluctuate day to day. Right? Sometimes they're more blue than normal. I don't know what changes it. All right, so is that all of them? Source, Roboto, JetBrains, and Consolata. Seven of them. Yeah. All right. We're going to get the embed code. What I want to do is try and make that like a lazy fetch, though. I think that's probably too many. I understand that, Linux developer. We're doing this so that we don't have to download and embed ourselves, so that we have a nice, clear set of licenses to deal with, so we don't have to worry about that. And yeah, we're not going to let font weight be changed yet. I don't know. All right. That simplifies that quite a bit too. Okay, so we'll add all those, and then we just have to decide on what our default is going to be. And we'll just say, what do we think our default should be? Fira?